What's up guys, it's Blake with Y2K. If you're new to the channel today, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Always looking to get some new fly people on the channel to watch and hang out with us. Today I've got a very special car behind me, a 964 Turbo. This car is a 91 and it's been immaculately taken care of, and I'm super privileged to be reviewing this car today. The owner was nice enough to bring it out. So I'm gonna spin this camera around and we're gonna talk a little bit about the car. So as you can see, it's a beautiful black. The paint is like immaculate on this thing. It's got the polished Speedline wheels, multi-piece, which is very desirable for these cars. I mean, it's all original. Even got the Brumo sticker and the alarm system. All black on the inside, and the factory stereo right there. Really, really cool. You hear that clunk right there when you shut it. It's got the whale tail, turbo on the back, just a very classic car. And I know a lot of you are probably thinking this is the Bad Boys car, which it's very similar, but that was actually a 3.6, and this is actually a 3.3. So this car came out in March of 1990, and at that point in time the 930 had just ceased production, and this is actually pretty much the 930 engine. It's the M64, and with that motor all they did was massage it a little bit. It's a little smoother, had a little less lag. Those 80s cars were pretty laggy, so they improved some characteristics of it, but they didn't have a lot of development time to you know, put a new engine in this car. So this was the first generation of the 964 Turbo from March of 90 all the way through 92. In 92 they made 76 Turbo S's, and those cars were a bigger turbo, 376 horsepower. Very, very rare cars. And then they also, in 93 to 94, they did the second generation, which was the 3.6 liter turbocharged flat six, and that is the car you saw in the famous Bad Boys movie with Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. A car we all love and appreciate. So it's really cool that this is pretty much, you know, the same look and everything. It's just not the 3.6. And then they also did a 969, which not a lot of people know about, but that was supposed to be the successor of the 959 based on the 964 chassis. And they made 16 prototypes, and unfortunately they couldn't get the M64 drivetrain to really work in that car. It had a lot of cooling problems, and therefore they scrapped it, not only because of development issues, but also due to the recession that was going on. This was December of '88. So they destroyed 15 of the 16 prototypes, and then kept one, and that's in a warehouse in Zuffenhausen, of all places. So anyways, there's pretty interesting history on this car. The specs on this one are 316 horsepower. 0 to 60 was 4.4 seconds. 0 to 110.7 in the quarter mile was 12.9 at 108 miles an hour, and the top speed was 171 miles per hour. So it was a really, really fast car back in the day, and it's still fast today. So I'm gonna end up getting to drive this car here in the next few seconds, and you guys are gonna see that. I'm gonna do the POV cam. That way it feels like you're really in the car and you don't have to stare at my face the whole time. So let's go out there and check this thing out and see how it drives.
Oh yeah, well I do have. Actually, we have to do a quirks there.
Oh.
By cassette holders.
Yeah.
Literally put cassettes in.
All right guys, we're here in the 964 Turbo. I'm not gonna lie, I always wanted to drive one of these cars. I've driven one 930, which was my uncle's, that I was actually telling Nate. Nate's the owner of the car, a friend of mine. I was telling him about that my uncle had one of those for a long long time, and then sold it unbeknownst to the value of the vehicle, and then the guy flipped it. So that's the way that goes sometimes. But yeah, Nate, why don't you tell us a little bit about why you wanted this car, or what your goals were and stuff like that.
80s and 90s kids kind of saw it on the big screen. We saw Bad Boys, and we saw we had the poster at home, and I actually even had a little Scale-electric car, so a little slot car replica, okay. 1/32 scale one, and sat in my room for years, and I always when the opportunity came up, and I could afford a car, so I was like, I found this one. I waited a long time for this exact model, this particular car. Found the right one. As you know, they all vary a lot in price and condition and so forth. And so I looked for about over 12 months until I found this one, and the guy was nice enough to sell it to me. He actually we met up through Renlist, which is a popular.
I was on there for the GT3.
Because I put up a wanted ad on Renlist, and this guy contacted me. He said it's a little bit above market value, but I think you'll appreciate it. So we managed to catch up, and when I saw it, I was like, that's done.
Yeah, it's a beautiful car. I actually saw this car first at the Cars and Coffee, and Nate came up to me, and I didn't even know who he was, and he was like, hey, is that original paint on your Diablo? And I was like, I think so. He's like, oh, well, I'm driving the 964 Turbo. I was like, oh, you should have just said that when you first came up to me. But and then sure enough, it was right there that he came parked next to my car at the show. But it's a beautiful car. It's got the classic whale tail, which is like every childhood boy's dream. Driving it's pretty modern drive. It's got power steering. The AC is pretty cold. It's not ice cold, but it's pretty cold. It's got that air-cooled sound. It kind of crackles on the decel a little bit. The turbo lag isn't as bad as I thought it would be, and that's probably one of the things I guess Porsche worked on from the 930 to this car when they said they improved the lag and made it a little smoother, because I've driven both, and it's definitely a lot more power and easier to drive. The transmission's a lot better. It's not like the 930s. Have you driven a 930? It's like driving a tractor, kind of.
No, I haven't driven a 930.
It's like the stick's this tall, and you're like, rah, rah, rah. So
it actually feels very similar, the gearbox, to the 944. So my daily is, and it actually, I'm surprised actually how similar they feel.
Yeah, so he's got Nate's got just kind of a NA 944 he picked up for fun to drive around, and I had a 944 turbo in high school that I had swindled my dad into purchasing for an autocross car. Got a thumbs up right here. Yeah. So I think that guy was a gas and carry. I think he was there. So anyways, but that's just it drives. The transmission feels a lot like the 944, and the power not near as much.
Slightly different.
And the looks way better. But it's a really nice driving car. The pedals are a little off to the right, like most air-cooled 911s are. The floor hinge thing I'm used to, because I had a 74 BMW 2002 that had that, but it does, if you're not used to it, it does take a little bit of muscle memory to get that down. But it's got the light front end. It's got the classic, sloped hood off the front, the big headlights off either side. And then if I look in the back, if I was really tall, well, I can actually see the whale tail. Yep, I can see that. So it's just a beautiful, beautiful car.
Yeah. So this one's like 99% original.
Okay. Is that original, the stereo?
Actually, no. This is 993. This is slightly later stereo.
It looks good.
But unfortunately, we don't have the cassette player anymore. But we do have the cassette holder. Which
we're gonna show
later.
And you were telling me, because I was like, this looks just like the Bad Boys car. So this is the same wheels from a 3.6, and that's why it looks like that.
Yeah, 100%. So so it looks. A lot of guys love that 3.6 look, and obviously same vehicle.
Right.
The motor is different, but they did change the wheels and the brakes. So the 3.6 have got bigger brakes, bigger calipers, and obviously the speed lines, which are just potentially some of the most beautiful wheels ever put on a car.
Yes, speed lines are where it's at.
Yeah, and it's got the ride height slightly lowered as well.
Yeah.
So it just looks right. You know, the wheels just hug up underneath the arches just perfectly.
I was just telling Nate that it drives like very modern, and there's not a lot of like compromise made for the age of the car.
Yeah, so I think this is what kind of why they're so sought after and so collectible, is that you don't compromise much. You get the beautiful classic styling, get not much difference, but you just get that slightly more modern look than the 930s, which we're dating.
Very 80s, yeah.
Yeah, but you still get that, but you still kind of get the modern kind of bodywork and shape, and then and yet you still get the air cool, all the experience, and of course the turbo with 300 and some horsepower.
It's so modern fast for sure.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't feel like it's slow.
So it really kind of ticks a whole lot of boxes in terms of what you want if you just had one car in the garage.
Yeah, one kind of classic, somewhat modernish vehicle.
Yeah.
What would it be, right?
That it doesn't completely suck to take out on the street, you know? Like, I know a few Diablo owners, right?
Yeah.
And they struggle.
Yeah, I was like, hey Nate, why don't you bring a Porsche to my house so we can park next to the Diablo? But the Diablo is definitely it's more of an occasion car.
I'm surprised you didn't want to drive it through the traffic to my house.
No, not through the construction or anything.
Wow, that really surprised me.
But the horn is actually awesome. What is? Oh, this one's kind of Mine's like the little Italian.
This isn't particularly masculine if you had to put it in a category. So no, it's just it's a conservative toot.
Yes,
that's what I like to put it.
Yeah, but the Diablo is definitely, that's a Saturday only kind of thing, and you get your frills, and you're like, okay. I drove Diablo today. I
have a sense of relief when I kind of get it home and put it back in the garage. I'm like, it's still in one piece.
Yeah. So right now he's terrified, probably. But we're out. We made sure we got it away from where we live. The tourism industry is booming, and which is great because I sell real estate, so that's perfect. But they're doing construction, and they're widening, and there's nowhere to widen the road, but they're widening it anyways because they have to. And Nate's entry to his neighborhood right now is a construction zone. I mean, that's exactly what it is.
Correct, yeah. The corrugated entry.
Yeah. And so I complimented his suspension softness when we went through the dirt. I guess there's going to be a light there in your neighborhood, but they haven't put one there. It was just pointing down. I was like, oh. Yeah, it felt good. All right, guys. I haven't really got to sample the power yet, so let's see. Oh, yeah, it feels good. That feels sporty, very sporty, and it's not too loud, is it?
No, it's just nice.
Yeah, it's just
let you know it's there. It's not like impressive, but when you get on it, I really like the tone of the motor changes when the big old turbo spools up.
Yeah,
kind of gets that really low throaty growl to it.
Yeah, it's the water-cooled cars. They really do sound a lot different than the air-cooled cars, and they're a little, I don't know if they're quieter, but it's just a different tone. I've driven 997 turbo and 996, which we were just talking about how you almost bought a 996 instead of this. Good decision on this one. A lot more expensive decision.
Well, it was a different tier of investment. Really, and don't get me wrong, I got a lot of time for the 996. I think it's still one of those really classic. And you get a whole lot of car for not a lot of money, and I don't think they're going to last like that for much longer.
No,
people are starting to realize how good they are for what you get.
I've started seeing specifically yellow. The speed yellow in that car is sought after, and I've started seeing some low mileage ones like 65, 70, and then it's like, well, where does it go from there? Does it go to 100? Because I mean, it's a very analog car. It just doesn't have the right headlights for something.
Yeah, and if you can see past that, you're still part of the still part of the Porsche club, and it still drives like a Porsche. It still behaves like, especially the turbos.
Yeah.
Power for days, the twin scroll, like the sequential turbos on it.
Yeah.
You got really great linear power delivery.
And they said that when I was looking at that car, I think that has some 959 technology in the all-wheel drive system and stuff like that. It's a Mezger motor, which this is not Mezger, right?
This is not going to be. So that was the big change.
The 3.6.
That was the 3.6 was the first of the Mezger that came out, and then it was used for like the next 20 years. So that was a big difference in terms of.
This is actually the Mexican Autobahn.
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
We just realized the door wasn't closed. This car is built like a tank, and it's kind of like, with my car the doors go up, so I could kind of tell. But I was like, I think the window's down. He's like, no, I think so.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Exactly right. We're driving the door open.
Yeah. Hopefully the audio is, I think it'll still be good.
Yeah,
I can still hear some wind there.
I did actually hear it when we took off, but it didn't even really
I was
take
like,
much attention.
I put the window down, I put it back up. Porsche brakes.
You're good. You're good.
All right, guys, we're gonna roll on a little bit more. Let's see. Oh yeah, feels nice and strong. Too bad we're not on the real Autobahn. You can really see. So yeah, 170 top speed back in the day. I think it'll do that easily. All right, guys. Well, I had an absolutely amazing time driving this 964 turbo. You know, I think we've all had the dreams of being Will Smith and outrunning that Cobra on the runway at the very end of the movie and passing him. So this is probably as close as I'm going to get to that opportunity. And I just want to thank Nate. Nate, appreciate you letting me drive your car and showing you around. And we're going to have to make well, we'll make some kind of video maybe with Nate and the Diablo and get his impressions on that as well. So appreciate you guys tagging along on the video today. I hope you enjoyed riding in this very historically amazing vehicle. You know, Porsche's history is just, it's probably the longest of any motorsport manufacturer there is. So had a great time. Once again, if you liked what you saw today on Y2K, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and share the content. We look forward to seeing you guys next video.